Alright, that brings us swiftly on to any bad points we have. So we've all played, I mean, man, we've all sunk, I don't know, like, I must have sunk about 20, 25 hours into it. You've probably done, I've probably done more, actually.
Do you know what, I had a day off, and I spent pretty much the entire day, like, trying to get through one boss.
Ignored your children.
Charles at the child.
Is that a bad point, do you think? That it makes me ignore my children?
Yeah, honestly, I've lost family members.
See, that is a good point to talk about. So this game is not family friendly, as I found out, and I'm sure we all found out.
Yeah.
So one of the main bugbears about this game is you cannot pause it, which is just absolutely bizarre. But I don't think you could do that in the previous Souls games.
No, it's been a thing of the series that you can never pause it, and you are always like within the action. So there's no way of. So for example, you'll probably all around this table we all have examples of this.
Yep.
My wife will come in and she'll talk to me, and I'll be like,
unusual.
I can't talk right now. I'm fighting this gigantic bloody monster, and like literally, there's something as big as like the Hulk or bigger than the Hulk that I'm fighting, and it takes all your attention. You can't talk on this game.
Yeah.
And I've never felt as ridiculous as saying like I can't talk to you because I'm playing this game right now, and then I get killed by it inevitably, and I'm like, if she hasn't talked to me at that moment,
Yeah.
might have beat it.
I can't believe my wife.
It makes you feel like
So you know you've got a problem.
It makes you feel like when you're a kid and your mum calls you down for tea, and you're like, on a really good bit of your game, you're like, I'll be down in 5 minutes, and suddenly you're 12 again. Like, I had exactly the same scenario. I was engaged in one of my many battles with Rom, and at that point my wife came back in from Zumba and she was talking to me about it, and you can't pause it, so I'm trying to kill this boss. And the thing about this game is you always feel like you're just on the cusp of I could do it this time. So I'm hacking away at this massive fat spider. My wife's telling me about Zumba.
She's just coming dancing like this.
Latin rhythms flying through the house.
Jack's there in his pants with his beer. Not now, darling. I'm fighting Ross.
So I'm there, like playing away, just going, yep. Just, and then
I don't think you engage with me like you used to.
so then my wife said, well, anyway, it's nice talking to you. But it's totally my fault, why is there no pause in this game? I could have paused it.
No,
I could have saved my marriage.
I do understand why they haven't put pause in it, because I think in particular boss fights, because if I certainly used to do it as a kid anyway. Like you'd have a bit, it would get difficult. You quickly pause it, take a little breather. I know I can quickly dodge out the way now, and like you jump in it like that. And I wonder if it's just that kind of keep you on the edge.
You do that on Pro Evo and FIFA when you always pause it when your mate's on the attack. So you sort of
that's it. But actually, Rom, my girlfriend didn't quite understand just what it meant to me when I killed the boss. Like, I couldn't.
That's a family achievement.
I know. But I had to show her my shaking hands when I was like, look, honestly, this has consumed my life for the past day and a half.
Probably say what this thing is.
So Rom is it vacuous spider?
Why is it a vacuous spider?
It's cool, isn't it?
It's cool though because you fight him in like the Moonlit Lake.
Yeah,
which is cool.
It's just.
To me, vacuous means like a bit airhead,
bit vain.
Yeah,
I think he is though because he's got loads of followers because all these other spiders spawn around
Twitter.
him.
Apparently it's a female boss. That's what I.
Is it?
That's what
I heard.
it said on. I sent that thing now, didn't I? Like the guy said that developed it. It was beautiful, and then said it was his favourite and got a great personality.
I know this is not trolling Jax, he's not killed it yet, but after that point...
Why would you tell people that?
After that point, the game gets nuts as well, doesn't it, basically?
God.
So
oh my god.
Anyone out there who's playing Bloodborne and fighting Rom, you're about to get in the shit.
Well, I think there was a point...
Rude word.
There was a point in Rom, anyway, that I thought that was basically making me level up to prepare me for the next bit. That's what I felt. So Rom actually isn't that hard once you level it up to a point. I beat it relatively easy. Because every time I'd call someone in, I'd beckon the bell. Every time someone went in, they were bollocks.
People were rubbish on Rom because I beckoned people for a few of the bosses before that because I really appreciated the sort of buddy system for this game where if I was stuck on a boss, I'd give it 3 or 4 goes, and then I would think I really want to see more of this game. I know I could kill this boss if I tried 20 more times, but I just. the amount of time I can spend gaming is quite finite, and I just want to crack on. So being able to ring the little bell and invite someone to the game to help me was brilliant. And I wish all games had that, actually. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
So with Rom, every other boss that I did this with, the people that came in were like ninjas. And I might as well have not been there, because they would just take the boss down straight away. And then with Rom, why is it about Rom? People are rubbish. People are just like running into it. It's like,
Stop it.
not even taking their weapons out, just like walk into his mouth. What are you doing? So I just don't know what's going on. That's obviously an issue.
Well, I even had Rom. There must have been a glitch or something, but 2 people came in for Rom.
You can have up to 4, I think.
I hadn't beckoned the bell loads of times.
Yeah, it can be 4, including you, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh god, I would have done that. But but there was 2 people in there, and I was thinking, here we go. This is going to be easy. I could probably just stand back and watch. And I was there caning into Rom, like actually doing some work. The other guys were pissing about with the other little spiders that were around the place, getting their asses kicked. Guys, get on the big guy. The big guy's the one we want.
You're like, guys, it's over here.
That is true. I mean, because you get this massive energy bar, and all the bosses just take so much damage to kill, and you're like, just hit the bloody boss. Because a lot of bosses get support from all the things.
You kill the spiders, there will be more. They're just going to there's going to be more that turn up. So just leave them alone.
So we're talking about bad points. I mean, do you think the tough bosses are a bit of a cheat, or do you think it's worth it in the end?
No, not at all.
I think it's worth it.
I think for the most part they are fair, but there are some issues. There were times when the camera was really working against me.
That's what I wanted to get onto.
Oh, right, the camera.
Because the bosses are massive and they take up the whole bloody camera view.
My first death on the boss was the Bloodstarved.
The Vicar.
Cleric Beast. So I was actually doing okay with him. I think I got him down to half health, and I was feeling quite smug about it. But then I sort of walked near a wall, and the camera clipped behind the wall, and I couldn't see what was going on. All I could see was a line of bricks, and I couldn't see a thing. So it was like watching changing rooms really close up. So I just died straight away, and at that point I was really frustrated. But I mean, the camera needs some work.
It has done ever since Demon. They've never solved the issue with that. With the bosses being so kind of tenacious and the camera getting in your way, they've never quite hit. Like on most Mario games, the camera is like a beautiful thing that follows you around, just never inobtrusively and everything. It's perfect. Whereas on this game, you always feel like you're fighting it. Which is the biggest negative point I could think of the game. Really, it's
you can't put a system up where there's such high stakes and then not give someone the freedom to play it
exactly
as they want to play it.
It's the only time you think to yourself,
that's cheap.
That's
cheap.
And that's.
But it's not the game being cheap as such, though, is it? But yeah, I know what you mean.
It is the game being cheap.
It's the design of the game.
If you can't see what you're doing, how are you supposed to do it?
I mean, it's not deliberately doing it. It's not like a kind of.
That's crap design, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I do agree, because there's been certainly loads of times where, the camera's got to a point, and I then get stuck on a rock somewhere as well. I'm thinking, where do I go? But I can't even move the camera out of the way, and fuck's sake, and I die. So.
Yeah, I think that's where you kind of like, well, that's just, and especially when there's such ramifications as well for dying. In a game that's set up where, if you die, it's like you're going to die frequently, but every time it's like, oh god.
I think the way I'd say it is like in a game that kind of demands perfection, you expect perfection back, and you don't quite get it all the time. It's for most, like for the spider thing, it's fine because there's no obstructions in the way. But for some bosses, you're in quite a small area.
Tight areas,
and they're massive generally.
I think another issue I came across more with the bosses is that sometimes you get locked in an animation where they're just hammering you, and so to increase your health, you have to consume these blood vials. You're hammering on the buttons to try and take it, and there's no gap in the animation.
All you can do is run and try and get into a bit of space.
But actually, one of the things I saw on the consuming blood vials, I found it annoying that you couldn't run whilst consuming blood vials.
It's all designed to make it tougher, even tougher.
I guess so, but I think I found that to the point. It didn't. There wasn't a reason for it, bar making it tougher. And that's when it starts verging on territory of the game sort of cheating you out a little bit, because you could have consumed a vulva whilst running. You just get the carrots. You could easily do that kind of stuff. But yeah, at the same time, it's not letting you do
think
that.
you could drink a whole Orangina whilst you're running?
I will do it on the next podcast.
Violent blood.
Get me the Orangina. But he doesn't drink them either. He just sort of crushes them in his hand. It's like, oh, right, well, there you go.
I think my only...
Sticky hands attack.
Get in your face. Little sticky. My only other sort of issue is the item system. You can assign maybe 6-7 items to quick items, but God, it's laborious to get through them. And when you need them as well, it's pretty annoying. That is my main issue with it. It's all, again, it's like they've never looked at the other games and gone, yeah, we'll fix that up this time. They're like, nah, that's perfect the way it was. But
I think they could still retain a lot of the challenge that's really, really good about the game with just giving a little bit of a kind of, hey, you might want to do this or you might want to do that, just some kind of, and it's almost like they've gone with the kind of the things on the floor, there's a note, but it's just like, yeah, beware of something in the face, blah, blah. It's like, no, that's not instruction, that's just some esoteric bullshit, basically.
We mentioned it at the start, but the game tells you absolutely nothing, and I didn't even know that you could run for the first 5 hours.
I only knew it because you lot said it.
Which is just crazy, isn't it, really?
I think there's a note, though.
So let's have a quick look at we've got the
instruction manual.
There's not an instruction manual.
What's it tell
Can I just mention how crap instruction manuals I've got with brand new games these days?
Yeah, right, okay, so we have got basic controls.
I'm surprised it's even got that, to be honest.
Do you know what, though? You might even be right with... Oh, no, run. Left stick plus X button. That's not how you run.
No,
it's press circle.
You hold circle.
That's not even right.
Womp womp.
Even the instruction manual.
Even the instruction
Do
manual
you
gets
think
it wrong.
they've actually QA'd this game at all? Do you think they've actually QA tested it and just gone, done?
That's the magic of this series of games. They've just never had a QA guy in.
Do you not still feel that kind of stuff works in their favour a little bit, though? Like the fact that, for instance, we ended up on this online community getting involved with that stuff. And I think
there's part of it that kind of wants me to work out the issues, but then I do get enjoyment. In the end, I think everyone has to give in eventually and start reading up.
Yeah, this very much is a game where you have to listen to what other people are saying. You have to, if you're dying loads, which I did, you have to go and say, look, I need, and give me some guidance. What am I doing here? How do I do this? And suddenly you goes, oh, well, you can do this and this and this. Well, I've never even thought about that. How would I think about that? I'm not clairvoyant.
I did kind of feel like this game must be like the ultimate Marmite game. I can't imagine anyone sort of in between about the whole thing.
But I also think there's anyone who gets past the first 4 or 5 hours will love it. I think it'll put off a lot of people.
That's exactly it. I think that because. I don't think I ever got to the point where I was put off by it, but I did eventually get to the point where I was like, how the hell do I get past that? Where they gathered around a burning well.
But I love the fact that once you get past that, the next thing you see is something 10 times bigger than all those guys. What?
More,
but there's a shortcut straight away. You can get like a shortcut straight away, which that's what I did look it up online, but I was like, that's a shortcut straight away.
The shortcut that comes round the save point, the first save point.
So I
opened that.
And as soon as you do that,
it free you up a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just all those little things. As soon as you get a little bit further, it's just, I don't know, just takes you into the game a little bit more.
It teases you, but then it just punches you in the face, doesn't it? It goes, haha, you thought you were getting comfortable.
All right,
here's a kick up the arse.